ഗുഡ് ഈവനിങ്. ഞാനിന്ന് സിമ്പിളായിട്ടുള്ള വേർഡ്സൊക്കെയാണ്, അതുകൊണ്ട് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് പറയാനൊന്നുമില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ വായിക്കുകയാണ്. റെഡി, സ്റ്റാർട്ട്. സർ, ഐ ടേക്ക് ദിസ് ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റി വൺസ് അഗെയിൻ ടു ടോക്ക് ടു യു പീപ്പിൾ, ടു ഗ്രീറ്റ് യു ആൻഡ് ഓഫർ മൈ വെരി ബെസ്റ്റ് വിഷസ് ഓൺ ദ ഒക്കേഷൻ of our Republic Day. It is the very happy day which we are celebrating, and it is well to remember that our Republic is still young, but it is growing at a pace which fills the hearts with pride. It gives not only to us but to our friends outside as well as a sense of satisfaction. In the recent years, we have seen a big effort to mobilize the whole nation to develop its resources and to reconstruct its economic life. In spite of many difficulties, which planning is in such a vast country as India of necessity involves, we have gone on and intend to go on from plan to plan till we have made sure that every citizen of India can have a reasonable standard of living and enjoys a measure of social security. On the progress that we have made in this way so far, we have been in receipt of compliments from many of our foreign visitor and impartial critic. While this makes us happy, we are not too conscious of the difficulties we have to contend against, the faults we have to get over. Whenever, therefore, we allow our minds to wander and bring the affairs of the state within the purview of thoughts, both the sides of pictures be viewed. During the year that is ending today, I have had occasion to visit a few foreign countries. It pleases me a great deal to see that India is held in high esteem by the peoples and leaders of those countries. There is admiration for a manner in which we have conducted ourselves since the dawn of freedom. There may be several factors like our ancient heritage in tackling the problems of economic reconstruction and industrialization that have helped others to form their views about India. But I have no doubt in my mind that the biggest single factor that has been responsible for getting the appreciation abroad is our foreign policy. By many, India is looked upon as a supporter of peace and as a nation which stands for the progress and the freedom of all nations, which recognizes variety in the pattern of ideologies and administration, and which at the same time believes that given mutual goodwill, and understanding. All these different models can coexist. A nation's ideology and policies are often judged from the good behavior of our nationals. രണ്ടാമത്തെ സ്പീഡ് വായിക്കുവാണ്. റെഡി. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very glad that you have given me an opportunity to take part in this function. I am very happy because you all being to a community from which the country was able to drive great profits in the past and from which it hopes to get more in the future. Any person who has had some association at any time during the past independence movement must be aware that whenever the help of the business community was sought, they have responded to the appeal. I have special knowledge of how the business community did all that it could for the success of that move and also of the independence movement because I happened to be free and out of prison at that time. On many other occasions also, when an appeal was made to you for your help, your community helped not only by its advice but also in other ways. Thus, your post services to the country makes a call on your services for the help of any of its needs. You will not go behind in any way. You are all aware that this is a time of crisis not only for our country but also for the world also. The government, I am afraid, would not be able to get over all these difficulties by its own efforts alone. It is therefore the duty of every Indian to do what he can to help the government. It is my hope that all of you give the country the benefit of your experience and would also do all that you can for helping the country at this time of difficulty. I know that in several matters the policy of the government does not agree with your wishes. It is also possible that more differences may arise between the business community and the government. I am happy for having been able to take part in today's function. Your cooperation has been there for a number of years, but it did not so far have a building of its own. I am happy to learn that you are all now taking steps for the building of such an office. It was in the fitness of the things that you should have a building of your own in this city. It is my hope that this work will be done early. I would like to express my thanks to you all for having given an opportunity to express my views on this occasion. Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, you will please permit me to say that I cannot regard myself as a total stranger to Madras. Besides, my family associations of close upon 2 centuries, I have myself often come here before now as a pilgrim in search of both political and spiritual knowledge. Never, however, during my previous visits to your famous city could I have imagined that I would one day find myself in my present position receiving a civic address that you are good enough to give. Madras has always been the home of experts in every field of human activities, and to them I have often turned from my early boyhood for guidance. The part that you have played in the great struggle for freedom and the great men you have given to guide the distinct destinies of the land will make anyone proud of our achievements. It is, however, unfortunate that we should still continue to have serious problems yet to solve, but I have no doubt that men and women of this province would surely solve all difficulties that face us today and note that we shall return to peace, prosperity, and happiness soon. I cannot express in adequate language my feelings of gratitude for the great welcome that I have received on all hands, which I have really done nothing to deserve, and I may only say in all sincerity that with your ready assistance and cooperation, I shall try my utmost to be of every possible service to you and your great historic city. It is indeed a matter of deep sorrow for us all that for the last 5 years in succession, nature should have been so unkind to us as to deprive us of life giving rain, with the result large parts of our state are badly affected. Men, women, and children in large numbers are suffering from want of food and water, and work wells and tanks, even streams and rivers have dried up. This province, however, is fully alive to the extent and urgency of the problem and is determined to get rid of the distress that has laid its heavy hand on the state. Indeed, the conscience of the whole country has been roused, and the state famine relief fund that has recently been started by the leaders of this city is meeting with good response from all over the land. We have had a personal visit from the Food Minister at Delhi.